So let's move to the security. We are starting security. Let me share my screen. Let me know once you see it. Now,
We can see it.
perfect. Security control. These are the all topics we're gonna cover in security, but there are a few things which we do not do. So I'll let you know which one we are not working on, or which one you mostly find it presetted. You won't be making those changes most of the times. What is security? Security, by the word, we can understand security is the main controlling system which help you know that, okay, whether your system is secure, is it safe to be used, and is it safe to be work upon so that you can feed your data in. So any company, if you're starting with Salesforce as a new implementation in your company, make sure you first set your security up properly so that you can, once you start feeding the data into the system, it is valid and it is secure. Second, what we do with the security, we make sure in our company also, whether there are 3 people or there are 300 people, doesn't matter, but in our company also, everybody should see what they need to see. Means they should not see their competitive database, means their colleague data, because they are their competition. We make sure they see only their database and their manager sees their own database. If my manager needs to see my database and I'm rolling him up, so how he can see my database? That's the question. I'm expecting some answer. Guys, any answer? If my manager wants to see my data, how he can see it? We studied that already, so it's nothing new.
With roles.
Role
Yes,
hierarchy.
with role hierarchy. Okay. So with role hierarchy, he can see my database if he's been set up in role hierarchy above me. But if he's set up in role hierarchy on same role as I am on, he or she won't be able to see my database. Okay. So that is the purpose of security, so that we make sure that security is in place all the time. My system is healthy enough, and that's the job of the admin. Because company cannot work upon the security part, it's an admin job that they take care of it, and then they let the company know, okay, this is the issues going on, and if there is any major update in the system, we take care of that also by having security in place. Okay, so you will be seeing few things which are like the security alerts, health check. These things keeps you update if there are any alerts in your system. It's related to your system only, not others. So it's related to your Salesforce account. Salesforce account means your organization Salesforce account. And then the health check is also related to that same. We already studied a part of security. One is the role hierarchy, profile, permission set. They are the part of the security. A question, if I want to restrict a database for or any one user, how I can restrict that?
with uh, with a profile,
Yes,
the
right.
profile level.
Yes. Through the profile, you can restrict anybody's access, but through permission set, you cannot restrict anybody's access. Role hierarchies are also not there to restrict access. There are only two ways to restrict the access. One is the profile level security. Another one is the organization-wide default security, which we will be learning just now. Okay. So organization-wide default. There are three names of this: OWD, org-wide default, organization-wide default. Okay, so the full form of OWD is organization wide default. So organization wide default is a record level security. Means what kind of security you want to put on the record visibility. Profile security is a object level security, means which object they can see and they cannot see. There's one more, field level security. Field level security is only for the fields, means under which object, which fields each profile can see. That security is also there. So majorly, we need to secure three things only in the system, in Salesforce system. One is the object, because if somebody sees, they should not see opportunity, but they are seeing opportunity, that means they can see the database too. So object level, that's a profile. Record level, that's organization wide default. And field level, that's a field level security. So three things, three security in place. Okay. We already learned the object level. Now we're gonna learn the field level and the record level also. Okay. Any question? Any doubts? No? Perfect. Security alert. Under the security controls, you get a lot of things to set up. Single sign-on security is a different security. We'll come to that one. So first, let's start with the security alert. These are the alerts which let you know if there are any mandatory security rollout happening or required to be done in your Salesforce. Okay, so release update. Let me see if that comes up. So these are the release updates. So you get some security alerts like this also. By when you need to complete them, by when you have to make sure you update your system accordingly, like user permission required for gate access to conserve, oh sorry, conversation entries. So like this, you need to complete them by this, by the time, by May, April. Otherwise, you start getting the notification that you are losing behind your security and all those type of notifications. So such kind of page, what do? You click on get started and you get this thing set up for your system. It totally depends that the system you're holding, what kind of security alert you need to complete, like this. Complete steps by April 4. User permission required for gate access to conversation entries. I don't know what kind of. Complete this step and get your org ready for the update. Means if I complete this step in whatever the, it's summer 21, it's scheduled in summer 21. So whenever there's this update, there's a rollout release. We call this release. When there is a release of this particular new thing, new permission. So what is this update? Allows admin with the org pref check user permission, enable to customize access to conversation entries with the access conversation entries user permission. So they are introducing something related to the conversation entries. We'll get to know when the release in place. So they want this permission set to be assigned to all the users in the system, so that whenever there is a new release happen with this conversation entries update, it won't impact anything and your people can use those things. So that's the reason why they are asking you to update your system beforehand, so that everything is in place for your users and for you to be used. Okay, so we complete them by enable test run. We assign them what's changing, what's improvement can I see, how is my org impacted. This job is of admin. We study all these parts and then we complete this step to keep system smooth for the further releases. For this release, there is no update right now, but for summer release, yes, there is going to be the update. Okay, that's a security alert. Health check is related to your system health check. Security alert means what is coming new. Health check is related to your system. So you can see it will update in few seconds. I believe so. Yeah, it's in good state right now. What is critical? You can see over here. There are four things critical. One is warning, means maximum invalid login attempts. You can see there we have set it to 10, but I mean, standard value should be 3. That's a warning for us. These 4 critical ones, we have to make sure that we currently it is disabled, we enable it because that's critical and this high risk security settings for us. Currently, we did disable. It's a disable. What it says, lock sessions to the domain in which they were first used. So means we are trying to lock people sessions into the domain they first used. Should be enabled as per the system, but we are keeping it disabled because we want people to use the system in different domains also. ClickJack is related to the development. So when we do development, if we need it, we keep it enabled. Otherwise, we keep it disabled. I have seen this disabled, not being used. We use this require HTTP only attribute. No, we keep it HTTPS only. So we keep it disabled. I don't know why system is saying it should be open, but it should be disabled as per my thinking. But if system still says we need to open up something, we can do it. Require minimum 1-day password lifetime. Enforce login IP range on every request. So this is still disabled. We can enable it as per the system. It needs to be enabled. Low risk security. You can see medium risk security, high risk security, and low risk security. Force logout session timeout disable hai. I mean, it's disabled. Require identity verification for email. It's disabled. They want us to be enabled. So this is the way to know that what critical high health check you have to make sure it is enabled or disabled. As per the company policies and as per the Salesforce suggestion, it should always be above 60%. Your health check should be always above 60%. If it is above 60%, means your system has been set up almost correctly. It is not required to enable or disable everything it has been suggested by the Salesforce because their job is to suggest you, but it depends upon company requirement. We always do not enable or disable everything which has been suggested. Okay, so 71% is really a good health of the system. We keep it that base only. If there's something which we need to enable or disable, we can do it later on. There's no problem. Any question?
So when we come here and we start and we are at a company, we gotta make sure that that we have as much as possible the high risk security settings to be as compliant to be secure, right? That would be like the best practice.
It's not hardware. It's only software. It's only related to Salesforce, nothing related to your computer hardware. Health
Yes,
check
only
is
for the software. Yes, yes.
yes, only for the Salesforce. Yes, it is I mean, you should do it. It's a job of the
Okay.
admin. So that's something you take care of your system by checking this alerts, security alerts, and the health check.
Okay. Got it.
Security alerts is for the releases. If there is new release about to be happen, then you go and you update your system accordingly. Not specifically for the releases, there could be other security alerts too. And health check is only related specific to what you have enabled, what you have disabled, and need to be enabled or not. Those things you see in the health check. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Perfect. Now we are moving to the main part of the security. Once you learn this, and once you learn the next one, the field accessibility, we are good to go. With the other parts, I mean, the other parts are like really easy, super easy. There's nothing big in there. Okay. So main thing is the sharing settings. Sharing settings. We can share our database with by two ways. There are multiple ways, but two ways are the major. One is the automated by the sharing rule, by designing the sharing rule. Another one is the manual sharing. Means you share the data with one user or one group, one set of group people. You share your database. We all know how to create public groups, right? When we created the public groups, I told you it is being gonna be used in system several times, or I mean you can use it multiple places, public groups. So we can use public groups over here as well when we design the sharing rule. Okay, that's the sharing. You're sharing your database with your colleagues or with your other managers. Means, and it's not like you do it. It's up to the admin whether they want to provide that flexibility or not. So these type of requests comes to the admins only. That these things needs to be open in the system. The users, those who are just working on the database, they don't get the flexibility of doing that. Okay. Now we are coming to the object organization by default. First, let's read out the above line. Let's see if there is something important written in it. This page displays your organization sharing settings. These settings specify the level of access your user have to each other data. Go to background jobs to monitor the progress of a change to an organization by default or a parallel sharing calculation. Okay, background job is the place if you make any changes to the organization by default settings, access settings, you see the progress over there, because sometimes there is a lot of database, so it takes time for any of the object level security to be changed. Okay, so now, as I told you, profile is an object level security, and organization by default is a record level or the data level security. So here, what you can see in below screen, you can see over here, it's an organization by default. But when you sit for an exam, it could be OWD, it could be org by default, it could be organization by default. So do not get confused. It's same. Manage sharing settings for all objects or for any particular object, that's up to you. If you want to select only one particular object, you can simply click on the object name and manage the settings. If you want to do it for all objects, you can simply go over here and do it for all objects. How you do it for all object, you just click on edit and you make the changes as per the requirement. Okay. Now, what is the difference? You can see over here, there are multiple objects listed. I mean, almost all the objects listed over here. This one also, these objects, the custom objects are also listed over here. What kind of setting I want to do, it depends upon me. There are 4 lines. One is the object, another is the default internal access, default external access, grant access using hierarchies. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of all these 4? Object means which object you want to make the settings to be on. Okay, so that's the reason why we go for the object. Then we go for the default internal access. Default internal access means what kind of access your internal team, your internal users gonna have. Okay. Default external access. External access means this is for your partners or the people, those who are accessing your system from outside through the community or through the partner portal. Okay. We create community, we create partner portals in Salesforce for letting our partners to be used the system. Okay, so that's the reason why we keep, if you see on the external access, it's almost private all. It's nothing public, nothing public read only, nothing like that. It's private. Private means they can see what they feed in only. They won't be able to see your internal database. That's for the external access. Grant access using hierarchies means if I'm sitting above any of the user, whatever, and the lead object data is on private, means that user can see his or her database only. I can see her data also, because I'm sitting on top of him, top of the user, and that through the hierarchies, if I'm giving the access, that means I can see their data also because of the hierarchical view. Okay. Role hierarchy is always to open up the access, and profile is to close the access. We can only close access by using profile, organization by default, and the field. There is no other way to restrict the access. Okay, guys, please keep in mind, because I'm repeating this every time. The permission set role hierarchy are always to open up the access, not to restrict the access. Okay. So let's edit and let's see what all options I get. I'm getting 4 options for leads. Please don't get confused. You might receive all these 4 options for couple of only objects, not for all the objects. Few objects are like lead, cases, and I believe orders. Orders, or which object? Cases and leads, I'm sure. The other one is, there's one more, I believe. 3 of them have this. Okay, anyways, I mean, you get it, so you can just use that one too. Campaign members, no. Okay, so what is the meaning of all these 4? Let's start with these 4, then we'll see the other ones too, those who have different ones. Okay, lead. It gives private, public read only, and public read write. So these above 3 are almost gonna be there for each and every object. There are few those not gonna have these 3 options also, but it is there for almost all every object. What is private? If I select my system, my database to be on private, it means I can see mine, you can see yours, other can see theirs, but I cannot see the other ones. Okay, whatever I feed in, I can only see. Whatever they feed in, they can only see. But we both cannot see each other's data. Public read only. I can edit, I can make modification to my sorry, to my database, but I can see others' data by only the read view. Means I can only view it, but I cannot edit it. Okay, I can see others' data too only as a read permission. Public read write. Public read write means I can see mine, I can make modification to mine, and I can see others and make modification to that one too. Means it's an open access. Public read write transfer. Whatever I want to do in the system, I can do it with the lead object. Means I can even transfer the data from one user to another user. It's really risky. Even if it is a new system, we don't keep this part open. We don't give them option to transfer the data from one user to another. Either we keep it on public read write if we want to keep the system open to the other users also, or public read only. Public read only is the most suggested one for to keep the access open for all the users. Then we keep the access to private. So private and public read only are the preference one. Read write and read write transfer are not the preferred one. Okay, so keep in mind, private and public read only are the preferred one. Why? Because it restricts somehow some access. At least others cannot write or make changes to the database, which they do not own. At least at that point of level, if we select above 2. But if we select the third one, they'll be able to make changes to the others' data, which is not recommended. Okay, that's the job of the lead. We can make changes as per the requirement. If I make changes, then it means I'm in a problem, so I keep it open for myself. Okay, account and contract. Account and contract gives us three options: private, public read only, public read write, because we cannot transfer accounts to anybody else. So that's the, I mean, we can transfer it, but that's the job of the admin. They are not giving us the permission to transfer the data. So public read only, you already know what these three options are. Now let's see controlled by parent. When there is a master detail relationship between two objects or any object, like account and order have master detail relationship. In that case, you get this option controlled by parent. Okay, controlled by parent allow the setting whatever you select for your for the parent. So only in the case of master detail relationship, not in the case of lookup. Okay, only in the case of master detail relationship, account, whatever the setting you have for the account or for the parent object, that is gonna implement on the child object too. That is the meaning of control by parent. If you want to set their individual access, then you can do it as well. So like private, public read only, public read write. You can select that access too. Okay. Contact, asset, opportunity, all these are parent-child relationship with the, not the opportunity, sorry. Contact, asset, and order all are related to the account as a parent-child. Now let's go to the opportunity. Opportunity contains again the same three options: private, public read-only, and read-write. Cases, the fourth option is also there: transfer. Campaign, public read-write, public full access, means they can access everything in the system. So if we give public full access, anybody can access campaigns in the system. Campaign members, controlled by lead or contact or controlled by campaign. It needs to be decided by us. Campaign member access, what kind of access it should go. If we select controlled by campaign, if an end it is set to private, means campaign object data is set to private, then campaign member is also going to private. If we select controlled by lead and or contact, even if the campaign access is set to private, I still can see the leads or the contacts owned by the other users. If they are attached to the campaign, I can see. Okay. If I cannot see the campaign, that means I cannot see anything. But if I can see the campaign, I can see the campaign. That means I can see the lead and contact owned by other users. Okay. These are all related to the access. I have given you the idea. Now it's your turn to get into it, make the changes as per the requirement, as per the task I'll assign. Any question?
Devika, the campaign one, right? So I see external one is by defaulted to campaign by uh, controlled by campaign, right? So if you change this one to controlled by lead and contact, then it will change? No.
It will change for the campaign members.
No, I'm asking about the default external access, right? So it is always controlled by campaign.
Yes, it is controlled by campaign only. Because for the external people, we cannot we are not assigning them any visibility in the system. These are for the partners. External access is only for the partners. Okay. External access is for partners. We are not allowing them to see any of our internal database. That is why it is set to control by campaign. They can only see the data which and the name of the people they add to the campaign, what they have added, nothing related to internal team.
So in this page, I cannot edit the grant by hierarchies, access grant access using hierarchies.
You can not edit from here, but there are other ways. We actually keep record level data grant user by hierarchies. It is only available for my custom objects. If you do not want, you can do whatever you want. Okay, because this is system suggested. This Salesforce suggested that always keep your data open through the hierarchies so that the hierarchical view is there, and the data can be seen by people.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. That's by default. We cannot edit this one. Actually, we don't have that privilege to edit this. I believe it was there before. As far I remember, we used to select whether we want to grant access using hierarchies or not. But now it's grayed out, so it's mandatory to have it like this. Okay. Any more questions, guys?
Devika, I can see the use internal access for the price book. So what about that?
Where do you see that?
Yeah, price book here. Next, the down of the calendar.
This one?
Yeah, the use one. Yeah.
So use no access view only. So price books we have not studied yet. I'll give you the details related to the price book. Price books are basically our currency which we're gonna follow in the Salesforce. Okay, price book is nothing but the currency we're gonna follow in the Salesforce for the products. Products are what we are selling to the market, right? Like I'm selling product A, product B, product C. So those are the products we are selling in the market. What kind of price they need to follow under the products is USD, Canadian, Australian, Euro, Pound, whatever we want to follow for those products to be priced on with the currency that we put into the price book. And we use price book to the products.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why here it says no access to the price book, view only access to the price book, or use price book means they can use it wherever they want to. So that's the reason why these three options are there.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions, guys? I'll tell you, will tell you about the price book and products in detail also, because that's important also for you to handle and take care of when there is a product driven company. So in the product driven company, we always keep this updated price book and products. Okay. Now other settings. There are few other settings at the below. Few settings are like standard report visibility, means they can view the reports, whatever the reports being created. I mean the normal standard reports they can view in the Salesforce. Do you want to allow manual user record sharing? So if I say this, then all the users in the industry, in the company, they get this flexibility that they can share their manual user record to the other user. Manual user record means I can share my database to other user manually, like one by one, not in a bulk. Okay. Manager groups. Manager groups means there is a group of managers being there in the system and they can view the database in the system. Whether it's private or public, doesn't matter, but they still can see it. And this is something we always keep it default. System already kept it default, so I cannot make changes to. Secure guest user record access means the external user access. It should be secured. The data should be secured from those external user access so that it says default are set to private for all the objects and this access level cannot be changed. You can create guest user sharing rule, but you can't add guest user to groups or queues or manually share records with them. So it's self-defined what exactly this is being used for. Okay. Anything? Because I'm going to start with the sharing rule. Perfect. Nothing? Good. Manager groups, I didn't check that up. Secured one is already checked. It's a by default check. Okay. You can already see this. If enabled, user can share records with their managers and manager subordinate groups. Got it? So that's for the manager group, only for the managers. Okay. Now, the sharing rule. The sharing rule means you create the rule, you define the criteria, and the rule gonna trigger and share the data with everybody in the system. Simple. Okay, nothing hi-fi, nothing nothing big. It's simple. You already created workflow rules similar to that, but a bit easy way. Okay, now let's create a rule, lead sharing rule. And the way you are going to create the lead one, everything is going to be same for the rest of the objects. Okay, so you just need to practice that out. Lead, you just give the name of the lead sharing rule, then rule type based on record owner or based on criteria. If I say label, rule name, like label is what? Amount. I'm going to give this label based on record owner, based on criteria. If I select based on record owner, so I just need to select the owner, and once I select the owner, the data gonna move to or gonna send the email to another user, whatever the owner and whatever I make share with. Okay, so share with means I'm gonna share the data, my data, to another user. Based on criteria, if I select a particular criteria like there is a field called amount. Finding that one. Industry. Let's select the industry criteria. I'm sorry, let's rename this one industry, lead industry. If I change the label, it's always mandatory to change the rule name. Okay. Whatever the API name is appearing, please make sure if you're changing the label after putting the initial name, make sure you change your API name too. Otherwise, it's going to be really confusing for you when you do bulk upload, when you do bulk data import. The field are not going to match for you if you leave it like I change it, lead amount to lead industry. If I keep my rule name, the API name to lead amount, in future, if I want to map the fields or map something, I'll be getting lead amount there, not lead industry. So make sure you create proper naming. And if you're changing the main name again after putting the first name, then come back and change the API name too. Okay, it's mandatory. System not gonna give you anything, no alert, nothing. It's just that you have to keep in mind. Now criteria, industry, equals or not equals, you only get two parts, equals or not equals, value, chemical. If industry equals chemical, then share with whom? With any of these. You can select public group, you can select role, you can select subordinates with the roles, territories, and subordinate. So because we already enabled territories, so that's the reason we are getting territory management. I can do public group, all internal users, or I can use roles. I can say, not sure what role I have created for myself. There are two users, that's what I remember. Yeah, so the other user role is, I'm currently logged into this one, so let's see, edit. Actually, I won't be able to test that out, but still I'm going to use it, COO. Okay, I'm using this role. Now let's select the role, COO. What kind of access I want to give to this role? I mean, to the user it is going to be shared with. I only have two options, read only, read write. So I'm giving read only. That's actually the standard one, and we follow the standard this one, read only. Because sharing is like you're giving them someone visibility, those who do not have access to it. But if you give read write means they can do whatever they want to make changes to. Okay, save. I did this. Now let's go to the lead. I won't be able to show you that how it is going to look like, but because I need to log into other user, but I can still change the industry. Currently, the industry is healthcare. Now I'm just double click on this and this field is going to be editable for me. We call this inline editing. Okay, inline editing means if we see a pencil sign, we double click on it. This field is editable for me. Okay, now if I show you this once again, let's say this one. There's a sharing button. Okay, because I have created a sharing rule on this. Now, if I'm sharing it, I can add a list of people to share with. Okay, a list of people to share with. But okay, I'll go back again. But if let's see if it is on the chemicals, say sharing. I'm already getting this person's name over here because I already created a rule that says if my industry is equals to chemical, it should share the data with the other user. Correct? So we are getting this here. We are getting the name or the user already open and it is triggering. This rule is already triggered. That user might have visibility to see this particular lead. Currently, my data type is open to all, but I have the visibility. Okay. And if I see, there should be a related list also. Let me just check. Sharing service, content delivery, approval history, files, groups, notes. No, we don't have that related list. Actually, it used to be there as far I remember. It used to be there. I can see that to whom I have shared the database. I can see that below, but now it is not there. Whatever. So you got it that how we create the sharing rule? Any doubts, guys? Anything you want to ask?
The only thing is when we create the rule later on, if we want to add somebody else to share, we can do that as well, right?
Yeah, we can. There's an option.
Yeah.
We have the option to add somebody else.
Yeah, I saw that it said add more people to share.
Yeah, we always have that option open when we have when we set up any sharing rule.
Okay. All right.
We can do that ways. We can add it from here too. We can come back here, edit, and give access. Share with. Oh, they removed that one too.
Yeah, that would be more like a manual thing to do, and the other one, looking at the organization, would be more to as a rule, right? Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So, any more questions, guys? No? Perfect. Then we're gonna go with the field accessibility. Nothing. It's super easy because you are so much into the system now and you're working with the system, you're playing around with the system, you know what to do here. Okay. It's just the field accessibility means you can let the profile. Field accessibility is always happen on the profile. Okay. It's not happen on the object. It's always happen on the profile. So it's a profile level part. Okay. What we do, we allow people or we hide some fields from the users. Okay, like account object is open to everybody, but few profiles should not see the data of few fields, which are super duper crucial for other profiles. Okay, so that is the reason why we disable the access or visibility to those fields for certain profiles, not for all the profiles, for certain profiles. Like for the accounts, if I go for the accounts, I'm just taking the first object because that helps us out to understand. View by field, view by profile, I have two options. One is the profile, another is the field. If I want to go by field, that means I know the fields which I want to go with, and then I can select the profile level access. But if I go by the profile to see which field access they have and what kind of access they have, then it will be showing all the fields in there and the kind of access they have to that field. Okay. Sometimes easy by field, sometimes easy by profile. So we have both the options in place. If I go by view by field, let's select the active. So if I see the active, for this particular profile, the custom sales profile, it is required, and for rest, it is editable. There's one that is minimum access Salesforce, that's hidden. Okay. Now, if I want to change it for like this one, make it hidden, I can do it by clicking on edit, read only or hidden, whatever the kind of visibility I want to give. Page layout, account layout, visible. If I say this one uncheck, it means it is hidden for all the profiles. So never uncheck this one. It's only the first one you need to uncheck. Save. Means now it is hidden. If I select again, it's hidden for this one too. Not for all, but it is only for this one. Okay. If I select account owner, it is editable, not specified for this one, and editable. So again, if I go for this one, Analytics Cloud Integration User, edit, currently account owner is something which is mandatory for this one. But if I want to remove, I can remove it for all the profiles, and it is going to be hidden like this. If I again go to the account owner, actually account owner field is somewhat auto-populate, but it is not removing. Account owner is something which auto-populates, so I might be messing up this with the wrong field right now. Let's see the annual revenue. It's editable and one is hidden for minimum access Salesforce. Let's see here. And not visible, safe. Again, the annual revenue, it's hidden. For few, it is still editable because those are the sales profile, marketing, sales, and support profile. It is still going to be editable. Okay, they are the custom profiles first and the marketing profile. So annual revenue is somewhat mandatory for them to be happen. Okay, so system also define itself that which profile should go with and which profile should not go with. Here it says the visible. If I want to make it not visible, I can do it by clicking on this. So that's up to us how to do it. Okay, I'm gonna re-enable it. But rest you can see over here, and I believe those custom profiles are not a part of this list also. Yeah. So if you can see, the custom sales, custom marketing, and support profiles are not part of this one. So let's make it visible and save so that everybody can see the annual revenue. So it's there, right? Any doubts, guys? Let's go by the profile too. Let's view by profile. How the visibility looks like. So let's say the profile. Now we need to select the profile, which profile you want to make changes, like for the standard user. So these fields are required, hidden, editable. So you can see all the fields which are available for the user and not available for the profile. Sorry, not available for the user, not available for the profile to be used. Okay, so because user getting access through the profile, so whatever the access you provide on the profile, the same access user gonna get. So you can see there are few fields, those are hidden, few of them are editable, one is required. So user gonna have that kind of access only. Any questions? Super duper easy, nothing difficult in here.
So when we create a user,
Mhm,
a user,
mhm.
and we just check, we clone it. Then when we wanna edit it, we come here to the security controls, because I remember that, if I'm not wrong, that all this was at the beginning when we clone it, right? But we just use like generals, and then if we wanna change or modify something, we can come here to do that.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question actually. So
I'm
it's
sorry.
like the profile you assign to the user, you create in the system, they are gonna get the access what you assigned in the profile.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to modify anything to the anything, not to the specific user, to this profile, we come here, we edit it, we make the modification, and everybody who is assigned to that profile, means there could be 20 users assigned to that profile, gonna get the access or
Okay.
gonna remove the access with. If there's one particular user who need one particular field access, then we don't give them here, we give them permission set to have the field access.
Mm,
Okay,
okay. Okay.
so we don't open up access to the profile level all the time. We don't open the access on profile level all the time. If it is one or two user who need to have access to something which others should not, in that case, we only give them permission set.
Okay. Got it.
Correct?
Yep. Thanks.
Any more question, guys? No? Perfect. Here's the homework. I'm just saying it so that you guys can make a note of it also. Or should I should write to. Let's go to this one and then this one. I wrote 11th November. Wow. January is begun.
Yeah, I was looking at that. 11 of November is my birthday, by the way.
Oh, we'll keep in mind then.
Yeah.
Happy birthday in advance.
Wow.
Thanks.
So advanced. Okay, so it's 17th Jan. So for you guys, it's 16th right now. So it will be 17th soon. Okay, so let's do one thing. Create, share for data with rules and support. Okay, the another question is, okay, just do these two questions and you'll be good to go. Okay, just play around with what? With the OWD settings. Nothing major, just you should know how to get this done. Okay, OWD settings, and that's your job to play around with the OWD settings. Now, the next thing is what I want you all to do, because I still can tell you these things, but still it is super easy. So I want you to do it. Okay. Learn more about password policies, session settings, login flows, network access, activations. You can still leave activations. These four you guys have to cover. I'll be just asking the questions and you'll be letting me know. Okay, because this is something which is like simple, very simple, nothing to tell much in it. I want you guys to study on it and tell me. This is for tomorrow. Okay, any questions? Third point, I'm just writing it here. I want questions from you guys in these four. So this is the third point you have to study. Let me know anything you want me to tell you in the tomorrow's session, and then we can move further. So it's like we only take 2 or 3 classes for the security, and then we'll move to data management. That's going to take time actually. Any questions?
It's all good.
All good? Perfect. See you guys tomorrow. Have a great night and take care.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a great
Have a
day.
good night.
Thank you
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.